August 20th. On a flight to Moscow, a passenger captures the awful wails of Alexey Navalny. The Russian opposition leader has suddenly fallen ill, and he knows exactly why.
I get out of this bathroom, turn over to the flight attendant and said him, I was poisoned, I'm gonna die. And then I lay down under his feet and to die.
You knew in that moment that you'd been poisoned?
Yes.
Quick thinking from the pilot saves his life. Instead of flying on to Moscow, still 3 hours away, the plane diverts to Omsk. 2 days later, Navalny is flown to Berlin, where the German government announces he has been poisoned with the nerve agent Novichok. Now an exclusive investigation can reveal a top-secret mission tracking Navalny, involving experts in chemical weapons who work for the FSB, the Russian successor to the Soviet KGB. This nondescript building on the outskirts of Moscow was the headquarters of the operation. We're staying in the car because we don't want to attract any attention, but this compound is part of the Institute of Criminalistics of the FSB, Russia's security service. And beyond that fence, an elite team of operatives has been tracking Navalny's every move for more than 3 years. CNN has examined hundreds of pages of phone records and flight manifests that reveal the backgrounds, communications, and travel of the group. The documents were obtained by online investigative outlet Bellingcat, which 2 years ago identified the Russian military intelligence agents allegedly sent to England to poison former Russian spy Sergei Skripal. The FSB toxins team was activated in 2017, just days after Navalny announced he would run for president in the election the next year. The team's leader, Stanislav Makshakov, an expert in chemical weapons. Several of the team are doctors, but they weren't recruited to save lives. I just wanted to show you some photographs here and ask you if you recognize, if you've ever seen any of the men in those photographs.
No.
You don't recognize them?
I don't recognize any of them.
Would it surprise you to learn that some of these men went on more than 30 trips with you over the course of 3 years?
This is absolutely terrifying. I don't know if terrifying is a good word.
I think it's a pretty good word.
Yes, but well, I understand how systems work in Russia. I understand that that Putin hates me, and I understand that these people who are sitting in the Kremlin, they are ready to kill.
Is it your contention that Vladimir Putin must have been aware of this?
Of course, 100%. It could have not been happened without direct order of Putin, because it's well, it's big scale.
In the weeks before he was poisoned, Navalny and his wife Yulia took a short vacation to a resort in Kaliningrad. Our investigation has uncovered that the FSB team followed. According to Bellingcat, the security cameras inside the hotel were mysteriously turned off while they were there. Navalny says Yulia felt uncomfortable. She took videos and photos of men she believed were following them. This man I also don't recognize, she says. Hours after the FSB's toxins team left Kaliningrad, Yulia suddenly felt sick.
She said, well, I feel really, really bad. Do you need ambulance? No. Do you have something? Is it heart? No. Is it stomach? No. Is it head? No. Could you describe it? No. And then we approached restaurant, and she said, well, I feel like worse in my life. I never felt it before, but unfortunately, and of course I couldn't connect these dots. Now I realize how bad she was.
Yulia recovered, but the FSB unit was apparently not done with the Navalnys. In the days after Kaliningrad, cell phone data shows that several senior FSB officials were in regular contact with a lab in this compound. It's called the Signal Institute, and CNN and Bellingcat have established that it has been involved with researching and developing Novichok. In mid-August, Navalny and his team traveled to Siberia. At least 5 members of the FSB unit make the same journey on different flights. In Tomsk, Navalny and his colleagues stay at the Xander Hotel. We traveled to the Siberian city to retrace his steps on the night he was poisoned.
So this is the room that Alexey Navalny was staying in, and it looks like my room here is right next door.
According to Navalny, he went to bed at around midnight after drinking a cocktail with his team. The FSB's toxins unit was not far away.
Using a ping from a cell phone, we've been able to place one of the FSB operatives in this area, just blocks from the Xander Hotel on the night of August 19th, the night that the nerve agent Novichok made its way into room 239.
Navalny left the hotel early the next morning. He boarded the Moscow flight feeling fine. 3 hours later, he was close to death. Back in Tomsk, Navalny's team frantically collect any evidence they can from his hotel room, including water and shampoo bottles, a toothbrush, and a towel. As they did, there was a surge in communications among the FSB unit and their bosses. If it was expected that Navalny would die on the flight, they were now scrambling to deal with a very different situation. After much back and forth, Russian authorities allow Navalny to be transported to Berlin. What they don't know is that the items recovered from his Tomsk hotel room were also on board. Some later tested positive for Novichok. Back in Moscow, we went in search of the FSB's toxins team.
So we're here now at the home of one of the FSB team, and we're going to go see if he has anything to say to us.
We enter a rundown apartment building on the outskirts of Moscow, where operative Oleg Tayakin lives.
Здравствуйте, Олег Борисович, да? Меня зовут Clarissa Ward. Я работаю в CNN. My name's Clarissa Ward. I work for CNN. Can I ask you a couple of questions? Можно вам спрашивать, это ваша команда отравила Навальный? Was it your team that poisoned Navalny, please? Do you have any comment? He doesn't seem to want to talk to us.
Toxicologists tell CNN that Navalny is incredibly lucky to be alive and that the intention was undoubtedly to kill him.
So you've said that you want to go back to Russia.
And I will do.
You're aware of the risks of going back.
Yes, but I'm a Russian politician, and even when I was not just in hospital, I was in intense therapy. And I said publicly, I will go back, and I will go back because I'm a Russian politician, I belong to this country, and definitely, which I especially now, when this actually crime is cracked open, revealed, I understand the whole operation, I would never give Putin such a gift.
CNN has not established that the FSB toxins team were, in fact, the individuals who actually poisoned Navalny. We have, of course, reached out for comment from the Kremlin, also the FSB, who told us we might be able to expect a response in 9 days. We also reached out to members of the team, as you saw in our report, but so far we have not heard anything back. And it should come as no surprise that Russian officials have not yet opened any criminal investigation into the poisoning of Alexey Navalny.